family I babysit for had one rule: never answer the door after 9 p.m. Tonight, someone knocked at 9:01 and wouldn't stop. I was babysitting for the Bakers for the first time ever, when at 8:30 they left for dinner. On their way out, the mom pulled me aside. "If someone knocks past 9 p.m., don't answer the door." I asked her why, but she just looked at me with this dead serious expression like this was life or death. "You don't want to know." She pulled away and walked out the door. Okay then, dramatic much Felicia, I thought. Their daughter Brooke was 6. Cute kid, obsessed with dinosaurs. I put her to bed around 8:45, and by 8:55, she was out. I went downstairs and put on Netflix, not thinking much of what the parents said. But then, at 9:01 on the dot, someone knocked on the front door. 3 slow knocks. The parents' words instantly came back to me. Did they know someone was coming? And how did they know it would be right after 9 p.m.? Who was this? I muted the TV and crouched down, trying to get a closer look. 3 more knocks happened. My heart was racing. I didn't know what to do. Then I heard a man's voice from the other side of the door. Calm. Way too calm for this creepy situation. "Hi," he called out. "I'm here to pick up my daughter." I didn't move, just put my hand over my mouth. He knocked again. "Her name is Brooke. I know she's inside. I just need to see her." I grabbed my phone and called Mrs. Henderson immediately. The phone rang over and went to voicemail. I called Mr. Henderson, but it went to voicemail too. I texted them both. "Someone is at the door asking for Brooke. Please call me." My iPhone 12 was at 21%, meaning it was soon going to die. The man knocked again. "I have a custody order. I have every legal right to be here. Please just open the door." My mind was spinning. Who was this man? Was he lying? Telling the truth? I thought about what the mom said, the way she looked at me. You don't want to know. I'd watched too many true crime documentaries, and opening the door to a strange man felt like a bad idea, so I didn't. I trusted what she said and just prayed he would go away. Then he stopped knocking. I thought it was over, until I heard his footsteps leave the porch and go around the side of the house. Crap. I crept to the kitchen window and saw him placing his palm on the window, not yanking the handle, not smashing, just checking if it was locked, seeing if he could open it to get in. Thankfully, it was locked. I started moving through the whole house, double-checking every window, but then it happened. I got to the dining room window, and when I stood up from my crouch position, I saw his face pressed against the glass. We made eye contact, and I swear on my love for matcha, my soul left my body. His eyes were wide and red, and he was holding up a folder, pressing it against the window. "This is a court order," he was screaming. "I am her biological father. You are making a mistake." He looked crazy. Too crazy to be within 100 feet of. I wanted to cry. I stepped back and pulled out my phone to text the Bakers again. "He's trying the windows. Please call me back." Nothing. Phone was now at 17%, and for some reason, there wasn't a single iPhone charger in the house. Then my worst fears came to life. I heard a crack from the side of the house. The crack of a window. I didn't even think. Every survival instinct in me just screamed. I ran upstairs at once, not wanting to end up as the victim in a true crime podcast. I grabbed Brooke out of bed and carried her into the master bedroom. I locked the door and shoved the dresser against it. Brooke was barely awake, confused and scared. I could hear the man downstairs now, but he wasn't inside. He hadn't climbed through. His voice was coming through the broken window, echoing through the house. Why would he break a window to not climb inside? I grabbed a can of deodorant and listened in. He was calling a name, not Brooke, something else. A name I'd never heard before. Soft and desperate like a prayer. Over and over. That's when Brooke did something that made my skin crawl. She wasn't crying, wasn't clinging to me. When his voice came through and said that name, she reached toward it, not toward me, toward the door like she was following the sound. I didn't know what to think, what was happening, but I wasn't about to find out. I pulled her into my chest and held her. Then the voice stopped. The house went silent. I called 911 at 8%, told them a man broke into the house. I had the child. We were locked upstairs. Hung up at 5% because I could not let this phone die. I tried the Bakers one last time, but again, voicemail. I turned my phone off at 2%. Now I had nothing. Just a dark room and a kid who kept reaching for the door. The man was still calling the name but not climbing inside. That's when I heard police sirens. I almost threw up from relief. Blue and red lights hit the ceiling. I heard the front door open. Radios. Boots. I pressed my ear to the bedroom door waiting for the part where they tackled him, where they yell, "Get on the ground," where it ends. But instead I heard talking. The man's voice and an officer's voice. Going back and forth like two coworkers figuring something out. Suddenly I heard footsteps on the stairs. No. Then a knock on the door. My heart stopped. What was going on? "This is Officer Jones," the voice called out. "I need you to open this door." I didn't know what to do. I decided to yell back. "Is he gone?" The officer didn't answer my question. "Open the door, ma'am." I moved the dresser slowly. This was the police. Surely I could trust them. I grabbed the door handle with one hand, Brooke in the other out of sight, and opened the door just an inch. Then another. I saw 2 officers in the hallway. Nothing else. I exhaled the biggest sigh of relief and opened the door fully. That's when I saw him. Down the stairs. The man was standing at the bottom, not in handcuffs, not arrested. He was smiling, looking right at me and pointing his finger. "There she is!" He yelled out. An officer was next to him, not behind him. Next to him like they were friends. The officers in front of me didn't ask if I was okay, didn't say a word. They knelt down, looked at Brooke's face, looked at something on their phone, and walked back down the stairs into the hallway where the man was. What the hell was happening? I couldn't process anything. Was this a setup? Were these even real officers? Before I could think of a theory, one of the officers came back up. This time he looked at me differently. This man filed a missing persons report for his daughter 3 years ago. He motioned to the man who was walking upstairs slowly. His hands were shaking. He knelt down in the hallway and said that name again. "Jasmine, it's me. It's Daddy." The girl looked at him, and her whole face changed, like something switched back on behind her eyes. She didn't scream, didn't cry. She looked at him like she was remembering a dream she forgot she had. The officer got on his radio, run the homeowners' names. He read them off, paused. "Neither name has any biological or adopted children in any system." He picked up the radio again. "The little girl here matches a missing persons case from 2023. Current residents are suspected of kidnapping her." I didn't know what to think. I sat on the floor and turned my phone on. 1%. One notification. A text from Mrs. Baker, sent 6 minutes ago. "Don't let anyone in. They might be saying some crazy stuff about Brooke. We're coming home." I looked up and saw Brooke waddling to her dad. She walked straight into his arms and he just held her. I found out later that the Bakers were actually a couple in their 40s who couldn't have children. So instead of adopting like any normal people, they kidnapped a 3-year-old from a Chuck E. Cheese parking lot. They legally changed her name and moved twice, but they made one mistake. They presumed a father would give up.